All right, so we're going to balance a chemical equation using what we know. So if I'm trying to balance this equation right here, first off, I need to assign numbers that I will be putting in front of these chemicals. So I'm putting, this is the equal sign right here, and I'm putting numbers x1, x2, x3, x4 in front of the 4 terms. All right. So then I need to write each of the chemicals as vectors. So let's make sure we're kind of staying consistent here. So I'm going to say the carbon is first, the hydrogen is second, and the oxygen is third. So for this term right here, I have 3 carbons, I have 8 hydrogens, and I have no oxygens. Moving to the next element here, I have O2. So there's just 2 oxygens, so 0 and 0 in the others. So CO2, so I have 1 carbon, 0 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens. And then moving here, H2O, so I have 0 carbons, 2 hydrogens, and 1 oxygen. All right, so this is where the first step is putting together. So I have x1 times this vector plus x2 times this vector equals x3 times this vector plus x4 times this vector. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a homogeneous system. This is going to be crucial. So I've got to move these 2 that are on the right-hand side to the left-hand side by subtracting. This is one of the places that people make the most mistakes, but not you. So x1 times this plus x2 times this, and I'm subtracting this one over and subtracting this, subtracting this one and this one over to the other side, keeping in mind where the equal sign was. So it's all equal to the 0 vector now. We need to make a homogeneous system. So then I see I've got I can use an augmented matrix to solve this. I put it in my calculator, RREF. Okay, so what I see here is I only have 3 equations and 4 unknowns, so I know there's going to be a free variable. So this first row gives me this equation, x1 minus 1/4 x4. The second row gives me this, and the third row gives me this. So take the time to write it out. So I can see that x4 is going to be a free variable. So again, you solve for your basic variables, x1, x2, x3. You solve for those basic variables, keeping in mind that you know x4 is going to be a free variable. So again, this is a crucial part. You know that your solution vector has to have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. And I'm going to substitute what x1 is equal to. x1 is 1/4 x4. x2 is 5/4 x4. x3 is 3/4 x4. And x4 is itself. And then I can factor the x4 out. So what I have is every solution is going to be a scalar multiple of this vector. So the solution set is the span of this vector. Now, since we say the solution set is the span of this vector, I'm going to take the opportunity to make it nicer and scale it. So if I take this vector and multiply it by 4, I get nicer numbers in each of the entries. Then I can write my balanced equation in a nicer way. So this number 1 goes in front of the first element. This number 5 goes in front of the second. And then 3 and 4 move over here. So that's my balanced equation.